Welcome to A Cartoonist Guide to the Bible. I'm Steve Thomason, and it is Holy Week. And I would like to show you in this video all of the pages from the Gospel of John, because just yesterday I finished the final page in Holy Week. So let's dive in. cartoonistbible.com. When you go to that site, it'll bring you to the homepage here. The fastest way to get to the Gospel of John is to hover over the bookshelf, come over here to John, click on that, and boom, you are on the Gospel of John. Now, if you've been following along with me, I've been drawing my way through the Gospel of John since December, and it's been a really fun journey. And just yesterday, I finished the final page of Holy Week. I'm not finished with the whole gospel yet, but I'm going to show you how you can read through the story of Holy Week. Click on Interactive Outline of John, and you can see the first two pages have been done for quite a while. I've only skipped one page in the Book of Signs, which is chapter 2 through chapter 11. I'll come back to that this summer. But here we are in the final week. Now, it began this last Sunday with what we call the Triumphal Entry, or Palm Sunday. That's page 13 in A Cartoonist Guide to John. And just yesterday, I finished illustrating page 14. And then we go, 15 is the story of the Last Supper. Now, I have skipped chapters 14 through 17 because they are just Jesus talking. And I'm going to come to that in this summer, and I'm going to illustrate that to finish out the book. But you can see here now, these purple pages here are the whole story of Holy Week. And then, of course, this Sunday is Easter, which is page 23, the story of Jesus appearing to Mary. So let me just dive in. I just want to walk through this real quick. Each page has its own, each page of the graphic novel has its own web page. So you can read through it on your own, at your own pace. Jesus meets with Mary and Lazarus, and Mary anoints his feet. Everybody's crowding around to see Lazarus, and the leaders want to kill him. And then the triumphal entry, the crowd shouts, "Hosanna, Lord, save us," because they think Jesus is coming as a king to rescue them from the oppression of the Roman Empire. But instead, he gets executed. So they're kind of disappointed. But we have the story of the Greeks coming. And again, with each of these pages, I've turned them into a PowerPoint so you can present the text in your own way for your own preaching and teaching. If you want that, just click on this button, totally free. So that's the first page. And then if you just click here and just page through it like you're reading a book. This is what I finished yesterday. This is a transition part of the story that often gets overlooked in the Gospel of John. But Jesus speaks to God, and the people around him actually hear a voice from the heavens, the sky, that says, "I have glorified your name, and I will glorify it again." And the people think, some people thought it was thunder, some people thought it was a voice of an angel. Then Jesus explains the voice, and he goes into this long treatise about light and darkness, and how they're walking in the darkness, but he is the light. And then what's really interesting to me is that he leaves them and hides from them. And we have this fulfillment of Isaiah, where the people, they didn't trust him. And then we have this long summary that Jesus gives about his ministry. And I really think this is the transitional moment in the gospel, because from this point on, we go into the Passion Week, because the next scene is chapter 13, where we see Jesus having a meal with his friends, and he washes their feet. And Peter doesn't want him to wash his feet. And then Jesus says, "Hey, I've set an example for you." And then Jesus hands a piece of bread to Judas Iscariot, and that's Judas's clue to go out and betray him. And so then Jesus, he says, "Hey, I'm going to be glorified," meaning I'm going to die. And he gives them the command, "Go love one another," which is why it's called Maundy Thursday, because Maundy is the word mandate, a commandment, love one another. And then Peter boldly claims that, I'd lay down my life for you. And Jesus is like, "Yeah, you're going to deny me 3 times. And then we have chapters 14 through 17, which I have skipped. I'll come back to that this summer. And then the narrative continues on in chapter 18, where Jesus leads his disciples across the Kidron Valley to a garden. Judas comes with soldiers and the police, and Jesus speaks, "I am," boom, and the people are knocked back. I love that scene. And Jesus says, "Hey, take me, but protect them." And then Peter slices off Malchus's ear, and Jesus is like, "Hey, that is not how we roll. We are not about violence." And then Jesus is arrested. Peter denies knowing him. Jesus is beat up by he's smacked by the soldier because he thinks he's being disrespectful to the high priest. Peter denies 2 more times, and the rooster crows, and boom, Peter. So now Jesus has been betrayed by Judas and denied by Peter. It's not going so well. And then they drag him before Pilate, who is the Roman governor of Judea, and they accuse him of being a criminal. And Pilate has this really interesting private conversation with Jesus about, like, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And Pilate, I love how Pilate ends this. He's like, "Hey, what is truth?" This very existential moment. And Pilate wants to give Jesus back to the people, but the people cry out. And instead of the true Son of God, they ask for a Barabbas, who it means son of the Father, who is actually a bandit. And so the people would rather have a violent criminal released to them than the true Son of God. So Pilate has Jesus flogged, the soldiers mock him, and the people just want him crucified because he claims to be the Son of God. Now, the Son of God is a title that only Caesar, the Roman emperor, claims. And so Pilate gets scared, brings him back. Jesus gives him the silent treatment. Pilate's like, "Don't you know I have power?" And Jesus is like, "Yeah, you don't have power." And then he brings him back, and the people are like, "Hey," the people start accusing Pilate of not being a friend of the emperor. And so this is truly a political scene. And so finally, Pilate's like, "Look, here's your king." And they're like, "No, crucify him. We have no king but the emperor." And the people totally sell out to Roman rule. That's what fear does. And so Pilate relents and condemns Jesus to be crucified like an insurrectionist. So Jesus carries his own cross. Pilate puts this notice that says, "Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews," does it in 3 languages. The soldiers gamble for his clothes, which fulfills Psalm 22. And then there's this beautiful, poignant, painful moment where Jesus, dying on the cross, redefines his family and commissions his friend, the disciple whom he loves, to be a son to his own mother. And then Jesus says, "I am thirsty," and it is finished. And then he dies, and they pierce his side. This also fulfills the prophecies, the Old Testament, and then he is buried. So that is the Holy Week story according to the Gospel of John. And then a little sneak peek, this is the Easter story of Jesus appearing to Mary in the garden. So cool. Now, one more thing, if you're still listening and you would like the mega pack, if you want to see what all of the Gospels, come over here to Visual Guides. And if you scroll down, you can see a cartoonist guide to Holy Week right here. This is the Holy Week mega pack from A Cartoonist Guide to the Bible. It is full of so many. It's got 378 slides. It's got a 37-page full color graphic novel PDF that you can print out. And it's just a really great tool to be able to compare and contrast all of the Gospels and their account of Jesus' final week. And there's so many differences in them. It's really cool. And if you'd like to explore each individual Gospel, you can just scroll down and you can see there's Matthew, there's Mark, there's Luke, and there is John from the Come and See version back in 2018. And now, as of this week, stay tuned, because I am going to be updating, now that this 2022 version of A Cartoonist Guide to the Gospel of John is almost done. I will be reissuing the Holy Week mega pack with all of the new slides. And if you've already purchased that mega pack, you'll get the update for free. So there you go. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I hope that as you go through this Holy Week, tomorrow is Maundy Thursday, as we celebrate and remember the first Last Supper that Jesus had with his disciples. And then Friday, as we come to the cross and witness his execution. And then we wait and hold vigil on Saturday. And then we celebrate Jesus' resurrection on Sunday. May it be a blessed Holy Week for you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like the Facebook page, go to cartoonistbible.com and check it out. Subscribe to the posts, or also join our Cartoonist Bible Network and see what benefits there are there. So share this with your friends. Have a great week.